Hello YouTube, this is Mahadeva the Thunder Wizard. Welcome back to the thunderwizard.com YouTube channel, where I give you practical techniques to help you accomplish your spiritual ascension as well as just simply enjoying your life. Welcome back. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm doing well. I got some surfing in today. The weather's amazing, even though it's the equivalent of the beginning of December. Of course it's not. It's the beginning of June. But here where I am, it's heading into winter. And even in the beginning of December, it's nice and warm. The water's warm and the surfing is good. And yeah, I love it here. So I'm doing one of the things, by the way, just right now, this second, I'm doing one of the things that you need to do to stay into 5D. So let me share with you what I believe 5D is. 5D is a word. It's not a word, but you know what I mean. It's a phrase, it's a word that represents what we believe is going to be the next evolutionary shift for human beings. I'm here to tell you, I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be like. Not in total. Maybe I've experienced it 100%. My suspicion is I haven't completely experienced 100% of 5D, but I have been allowed, I've been given, two separate times I've been given the experience of 5D, of what it would be like for me to be in 5D. I've been given that experience twice. The more that I ask about it, the more I keep getting the answer you wouldn't understand even if we told you. So I'm going to share with you what I've learned in those two experiences. And, I've shared with you a lot. The truth is you're not going to find any other channel. You're not going to find any other resource anywhere on the planet, in history, in books. You're not going to find any place that gives you more techniques than I do. It's just not possible. And even if you were to take one of these techniques and do them every single day, if you were to do the whole breath, I've given people this challenge before. Do the whole breath for an hour a day. I dare you. Do it for a half hour a day, every day. If you were to do that, everything would change for you. If you were to do let's say you did the whole breath for 7 minutes, and then you did the Awakening the Immortals, and then you did the Heaven and Earth meditation, and you closed down, and then you chanted your mantra, so let's say Om Namah Shivaya. If you did that every single day, your life would completely change. It would give you everything. And those aren't all of the most powerful stuff that I give you guys. So this is about doing the work. Sorry for repeating myself, but we got to get back into some basics. So today we're going to get real basic about what you can do to stay in 5D. So as I was saying, I can't tell you exactly what 5D is going to be. I think a lot of people have some ideas. I don't know that I trust anybody's guesses about it. I barely trust my own. But what I do know, again, from personal experience, I do know that this new shift, this ascension, is going to be as a result of a frequency shift to a higher octave, if you will. Wherever we live, imagine if we could hear the octave of the third D, whatever that sounds like. We're going to be in octave at least above that, maybe more than just one, maybe two or three, I don't know. but it's going to be another octave of that. And it is a vibration. So one of the ways that you know that you are experiencing this higher vibration is when you feel anxiety. Now, that doesn't mean, having anxiety doesn't mean that you're experiencing higher dimensional energies. But if you're experiencing higher dimensional energies, one of the symptoms is a feeling of anxiety. A feeling of anxiety, a feeling of just non-specific fear. And then what ends up happening is that whatever unresolved fears that you already have, they just attach to it, because your brain does this. It's really important you understand this. Your brain looks for problems to justify the feelings that you have. I'm willing to bet 90% of the time, 90% of the time that you're upset and you can tell me, here is the reason why I'm upset, and you can even prove it because of all of the things that are going on in your life, and a plane crashed into my house, or no matter what reasons you find to explain your anxiety, it's still your brain doing just that, looking for something to justify the feeling. This is how life is. I learned this about myself 40 years ago. I can remember when I was, about 20, and I can remember that I was just always in a bad mood all the time. And this was, early in my recovery, where I was working the 12 steps. And I was doing, starting my spiritual path, and I was into my recovery. And I was always angry, and I was always in a bad mood. And because I was doing this work on myself, there would be times when I'd go, why am I so upset? And I realized that I was looking for reasons. I would look for somebody to be upset at. I would look for something in my life, maybe not even my life, in the world. This is what happens with people who watch a lot of politics. People who sit around the television and watch Fox News or whatever it is, and they want to go on and on about what's wrong with the world. That's what's going on. What's going on is that they're uncomfortable, and they're looking for something that they can use to justify their discomfort. And of course it increases it, expands it. It gives you a feeling of self-righteousness, makes you feel like, see, I'm better than them, I know what's going on. And I found that I did that. So sometimes just allow yourself to have the anxiety without having to put anything to it. But this is one of the symptoms of higher dimensional frequency. You might feel some anxiety. And so we are going to take a look at that. The first thing I'm going to get into, which is, I didn't put it into my list of 5 things, but we'll make this, the entry-level foundation for these 5 things. The first thing that you need to do, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what you think, regardless of what you believe, regardless of what you've experienced, you need to assume that you live in a universe that loves you completely, unconditionally, and overwhelmingly, because that is definitely the truth. The one thing that I've learned in the past year is that the universe is the most loving place. We just happen to be in a little 3D bubble. We can't feel it. And what was interesting is that I came to that conclusion long before I felt it, because to live any other way to me was a ridiculous waste of time. For me to choose to live in a world that the universe surrounding me didn't love me unconditionally and wasn't there to completely support me, I wasn't willing to live in that universe. So I just said, I'm not going to. I'm going to assume, even though I don't see it, I don't feel it, I don't have a whole lot of experience with it. I'm just going to assume that the air around me, the energy around me, the sun, the moon, the stars, everything loves me unconditionally and completely, and is completely, totally focused on me achieving my highest happiness and productivity in this world, and success and health. And I took that assumption, and what I found was, by adopting that assumption, I was taking actions that were completely contrary to my fears and my feelings. And this is what I ascribe to being a warrior. This is really what's going on with my ancestors when they said, those who die in battle go to Valhalla. What they really meant by that was that regardless of how I'm feeling, I'm going to assume that I am a winner, and that I am the victor, and that the universe and Valhalla loves me, as long as I continue to do that. And it is a battle to the death. Make no mistake about it. Your unconscious mind, your programming, all of the belief systems, especially nowadays. I mean, it's just getting crazy now. I mean, it's not even crazy. It's just getting ridiculous now. I heard of some new thing that I guess is happening with kids. Kids now don't know what they identify as. They don't know what pronoun they want for themselves. It's not enough, to be, heterosexual or, homosexual. Now there's all these permutations of all of that. And then there's this new one where kids are starting to identify as both male and female. And, at some point it's just getting silly. And what it means is people don't know who they are. And kids are growing up in this, in this modern society. Kids are growing up our society is so screwed up that they can't even nail down an identity for themselves. It's not like, when you get to be, whatever. I'm not going to get off on that. But point being is that the foundation isn't there for most people. And that foundation is, I believe and accept. I assume, whether I see it or believe it, I assume that everything in the universe loves me unconditionally, and I am prepared to take on the warrior mindset which says, I'm going to act based on that assumption, regardless of how I feel. I'm here to say, based on my experience, I'm perfectly happy to be wrong. But based on my experience, if you don't employ that, there's very little chance of success in anything. So I give that to you. There's the foundation. So we're going to talk about 5 different things, and I think it's important that we just come back to the basics. I've given you guys a lot of techniques. And for those of you, if you're listening to me and you're not doing the techniques that I give you, and yet you come onto my channel and watch me all the time, I think this is for you. To get back to the basics so that you can get yourself in a mindset so you can do the things that will give you the things that I've gotten from this path. All right. I'm talking in circles here. So let's just get right to it. What are the 5 powerful techniques to help you achieve 5D Ascension? First one is to keep your body clean and healthy. Do I need to repeat myself? Is that obvious? The shift is a physical shift. We've, over the past 2,000 years, because of the advent of monotheism, the 3 big monotheist religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, those three religions, which are really the same religion, they're offshoots of the same religion. It started with the monotheist Jehovah, the Abrahamic mythology that was introduced to the polytheist Jewish people around, I think it was 500 BC. It was a brand new thing that was introduced to them by their elites, and they went through a whole cleansing of their own people. You know, they stoned people to death, killed them, ostracized them, if they did not accept this religious, political religion, which we now know as Judaism, because that's what it is. It's a political religion. Its initial purpose was to solidify the state of Israel as a political entity separate from all others, and in order to do that, they needed to indoctrinate their people into the mindset of, you know, being Jewish, being Hebrew, being Israeli. Because if they allowed their people to be part of all of the other cultures around them, they wouldn't have been able to control them. And that worked so well. It still does. I mean, you can't find I mean, try to get a committed Jewish person to do anything that goes against their religion. Good luck with that. It works really well. It's a really good indoctrination system. And it worked so well that the Romans got together with elite Jewish people and said, let's create a religion to bring everything together. So they created Christianity, which then became the tool for conquering the known world. And Muhammad wanted in on that. And if you look into it, you'll find that Muhammad actually was a Christian. He wanted to start his own sect of Christianity. And he came to the Jewish leaders and the Christian leaders and he said, hey, God talked to me too, and I wrote it down in a book. Can I be part of, can we be a trio? And the Christians and the Jews both said to him, get the hell out of here. You can't make up, this is it. You can't be part of our club. You either got to join our club, And he got so mad that he created the whole jihad thing. That's where jihad came from. He got his panties in a bunch because he wasn't allowed to bring his own version of monotheism and be accepted by Christians and Jews, and because of that, he got his feelings hurt and he went out and took it out on the rest of the world. And it's still happening this day. That's why they fight with each other. How did I get involved in that? I don't know. What are we talking about? 5 techniques. The first one is keep your body clean and healthy. What that has to do with religion, I have no idea. Keep your body clean and healthy. This is just basic stuff. We are in a vibration. That's what I was talking about. This is a physical vibration that we are experiencing. It's not a belief system. So if you think that you can sit around and think your way into 5D, it won't happen. Any more than you can think your way into becoming Mr. Olympia. Now you're going to have to stop thinking, get up off your ass and go to the gym. If you want to learn how to surf, you better just grab a surfboard and go surfing every day. People ask me, what do I need to do to learn to surf? I said, it's real simple. Buy a surfboard and go surfing every day for 3 months. At the end of those 3 months, you'll learn how to surf. You'll know. 5D is an experience. It's not something you can think yourself into, so stop trying to figure it out if it's not going to work. Your physical body is the vehicle through which your spirit is going to experience this incarnation. And if your physical, if you want to drive your car down the freeway, your car better work. Sitting in the car and, thinking about driving isn't going to get you anywhere. Your car has to work. Your physical body has to be able to vibrate at this higher level. So in order to do that, you got to clean your body up. You got to get rid of all of the intoxicants. You got to get rid of all of them. Alcohol, weed, coffee, nicotine, sugar, fried foods, garbage. You got to get rid of it all. I'm not saying be perfect, except about intoxicants. No intoxicants. Drop all the intoxicants. Let's just make it simple. Your food, I'm not saying you have to be totally perfect about food, but you got to be making some progress on it. So keep your body clean and healthy. Here's a good one. This is what I was just doing when I started the video today. You saw me doing it. Make a list of things that bring you joy. And I mean that literally. I mean, sit in front of your computer, or better yet, get a pencil and a piece of paper and write down the things that make you happy. I got to go surfing in the most beautiful beach I've ever seen in my life. It's the equivalent for me of December, what is it? It's June 9th. So it's the equivalent of December 9th. And the water is like 75 degrees and the water is blue-green and the sun is out and it's like 74 degrees outside and the parrots are flying around and, it's just, I literally couldn't be happier. I can't imagine anything. I can't imagine being anywhere else, doing anything else. This is, I got this beautiful home in the forest. I mean, there's just nothing better than what I've got. I'm grateful that I'm as healthy as I am. I'm grateful that I have equipment that I can use at my, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I've got equipment that helps me to get the most out of what I'm doing. And anyway, I could go on and on and on, but that's a list, and I write that down. Now, here's a sad thing if you can't do that. There are people that can't do that. And the reason why they can't do that is because of the choices that they've made in their lives. But even if you're homeless on the street, is your heart beating? Yes. Are my lungs working? Yes. Are all my limbs attached? Yes. Can I see? Yes. Find the things that you can be grateful for, but especially find those things that give you joy. The people in your life, your children, your animals. There's always something that you can find joy, because that feeling when, you saw how giddy I got. I just started talking about, what it's like almost every day here. It's just unbelievable. When I think about it, I can't help but get happy. I can't help it. And the feeling of happiness starts flowing through me as I start doing that. And that is the 5D. 5D is going to be joy. I was going to share with you, because as you see, I get scatterbrained and I can't stay on one topic for very long. But the 2 times that I have been given the 5D experience is that higher dimensional energy was put into me. From where and from whom, I don't know. But I knew each time I was, the first time they told me they were going to do it. They, being higher dimensional beings, told me they were going to shift me up to 5D, and they got me prepared for it. And so when that energy hit me, I knew what was going on. I had anxiety at first, because again, the first thing that happens with higher dimensional energy is that you feel anxiety. I had anxiety, and then I just learned to go with it. I knew what was happening, and it took me into this place of bliss where I was just in love with everything and everyone, and everything was beautiful and wonderful. And I also knew that I could dial it up or dial it down depending on what I focused my thoughts onto. If I focused my thoughts onto mundane things or even negative things, the energy would sort of start inching down. And if I focused on the things that I loved, it would take off and it would expand even more. So, okay. So if I focus on things that bring me joy, this intensifies this. That's pretty cool. and they work together. It becomes this, this dance. So this is why writing down a list of the things that bring you joy and putting effort into loving it and experiencing it. Let's say you're somebody who can't do that. Well, then you have to learn how to find out what it is that you truly want that you're not doing. One of the most depressing days of my life was when back in the day, it was probably a little over 10 years ago. It was probably about 11 years ago. Towards the end of my marriage, I had moved to Boise, Idaho to live with my then wife. And I had been working for 10 years to try and fit myself into her little box that she had for me. And I was trying to be the perfect husband for her. And as you can imagine, there is not a lot of surfing in Idaho. And so at the end of 10 years of not surfing, I woke up one morning and I became very sad because I realized that was the first time since I'd been in Idaho that I didn't dream about surfing. And that told me that something inside of me had given up. I didn't even realize that I had dreamt about surfing every single night. It's just something that happened and I didn't think about it. But I woke up one morning and I went, holy crap, I didn't dream about surfing last night. And I knew I'd given up. I'd given up hope. And that started taking me down a path of, I got to start doing the things that I love, or this is gonna kill me. I'm gonna start doing things that I love so I can be alive and happy. So you might be in that space where you can't think of anything. So then go back and think about the things that you're not doing that give you joy. Think about the things that you'd like to do, but for whatever reason, you're not doing it. You're not becoming a warrior. This is the warrior life. The warrior life says, I'm going to do every single thing that gives me joy, regardless of how difficult, how impossible, how wrong, how bad. I'm going to do whatever the hell it takes, even if it kills me. Because those who die in battle go to Valhalla. If you die trying to accomplish that thing that you love and you don't pull it off, you get a pass. You go directly to Valhalla. You get enlightenment. You get all of the benefits. Some of the Vedic scriptures are pretty clear. They say that, how you end up in your current incarnation is a direct result of the last thing you were thinking when you died. And if the last thing you're thinking when you died is a regret, guess what? You're going to bring that with you. So my ancestors were saying, if the last thing you're thinking about is how awesome your life is because you went out and were willing to die going after that thing that you wanted, you get to go to the head of the line. So that's thing number one. Number two, make a list of things that bring you joy. Number three, make a list of all the emotional attachments. Emotional attachments. Emotional attachments are not things that bring you joy. You can be as attached to the things that bring you joy as you want. Be attached for the love that you have for your kids. Be attached for, how much I love surfing. I love it. There's nothing. It's being in blue-green water with the sun out and waves and spray and fish jumping and turtles playing around in the water and porpoises and all of that. I mean, there's just nothing better. I got so into it I forgot what I was saying. So that's not an emotional attachment. The things that bring you joy are not emotional attachments. The things that you are attached to are the three-dimensional things that do not serve you. And if we go to the basic bottom line of this, I don't have time to explain it now because it does take a lot of time and energy to explain it, but every single person alive today, no matter who you are, you have an attachment to get your mother's and your father's love and approval. You may seek that out through getting approval from society, from church, from your spouse, but that's the basic. All human beings are wired this way. And because your parents were three-dimensional beings, they might have been great parents, but most parents have a lot of flaws, and so they don't perfectly reflect back to you your perfection, and so you will take with you into your adulthood attachments. And these will manifest in things like, I want to have more money, I want to be wealthier, I want to have a better body, I want to have I want to date a bunch of different people, I want to be a famous musician, a famous actor, I want to be a powerful businessman, and I'm going to go off and become a stock trader, or I have to go and be a doctor, so because I have to be a lawyer. Those are emotional attachments. Being attached to three-dimensional ideas that have little or nothing to do with your joy. So make a list of all those things. I gave you a bunch of them. Wanting to have more money is an attachment. Money doesn't exist. Remember? Money does not exist. So being attached to the idea of wanting something that doesn't exist, there's nothing that is a bigger waste of your time and energy than that. Wanting to have everybody like you, wanting to fix everybody. Whatever your attachment is, make a list of them. Do your best and be honest about it. Remember that the basis, this is another basic assumption that is very helpful. Your value to the universe is predicated on only one thing: the fact that you exist. The fact that you exist is what makes you lovable. To the extent that you can operate authentically from your simple existence, this is what will align you with your joy. This is what all meditation is about. All meditation is about aligning you with your authentic essence. And then once you align with it, you realize you don't have to accomplish anything. You don't have to do anything. What you have to do is you have to be authentic in the moment. And you have to be authentic with everything. That's the only thing that you're required to do, which is about being your true self. We live in a three-dimensional world that is programmed to devalue your essence and value external things. How you look, how much money you have, how much power you have, how much fame you have. Whether you're a good boy and you go to church, go to temple, whether you have kids. Some people, that's one of the saddest things. There are people that have kids because they think they won't be a good person if they don't have kids. When my parents had kids, they keep asking me, when are you having kids? In fact, it kind of blows me away. I've never wanted kids. I don't have them. But, when I look on dating sites, women my age especially, I haven't found any women that have been single without kids. Have been without kids to this. I just don't know why everybody needs to have kids. I don't get it. I get the desire to want to have children, but if you've got that much of the population having kids, I guarantee you there's a huge percentage of those people who are doing it at least partly because they want to fit in society and look good. A woman my age and I don't have any kids, I need to go have a job so we can support our kids. I need to be more rich. So anyway, I don't know how I got off on that. Make a list of all your emotional attachments. Meditate on your fantasy as a god. So that's kind of a shift into a different thing. So what I've come to find out through my interdimensional meditations is that this three-dimensional world that we live in is a three-dimensional holographic projection that is also it is a 3D video game, just like, you know, World of Warcraft or whatever, where you've got people all over the world who can log in and play against each other, with each other in the same game. That's what three-dimensional reality is. Now, just as in a three-dimensional video game, your avatar is not you. Your avatar, you actually go and create your avatar. Before you play the game, you have to pick an avatar, you create it, and you're able to give it whatever powers and abilities it has. And then in the game, you're limited by the limitations of that avatar, but you can gain in knowledge and in energy and life and weapons and spells and experience points and all that kind of stuff. This is no different. You know, this person that you're looking at here, this is my avatar. You know, my avatar is limited to, you know, I'm 5'9", I've got whatever genetic predispositions I have. This is why, as I'm reaching 60 years of age, I have to get bigger surfboards. And if it's a, you know, there's big waves. By the time I get out past all the waves, I have to catch my breath, because that's the limitations of a 59-year-old person. This is just what happens. Especially a 59-year-old person who goes to the gym and lifts weights and puts on a lot of muscle. That's a lot of blood to flow. I run out of breath quicker. That's the limitation of my avatar. That's not who I am. I've shared a little bit about who I am, and I've come to the conclusion that you're no different. I mean, you're not going to be exactly like me, of course, but you have, you know, your own unbelievable essence that is beyond 3D. You may not know that. I didn't. I had no clue. I had zero clue whatsoever. It wasn't until that I was doing interdimensional meditation on a daily basis for over a year that I started seeing more and more of, you know, who I was. And that's been a very shocking experience and continues to be. So you are a god. You are not this avatar. You are a god. So if you were a god and you could create a new three-dimensional, higher vibrational world for your God self to play in, what would that look like? For me, gosh, that means that I could go to Nazaré, where there's like 100-foot waves, and I would have an anti-grav surfboard that would allow me to surf those incredibly huge waves without the risk of, you know. But even then, I would create a superhuman body that could, you know, last underwater for 5 minutes. You know, those are the kinds of things I would create. The fantasy. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how unbelievable it is. If it makes you happy, meditate on this every day. And before we get off, before we go to the questions, I'll go back and talk to you about the chakra meditation. Again, one of probably hundreds of meditations that I've given over the years. Please pick one and do it every day. I do the chakra meditation just about on a daily basis. Whenever I think about manifesting either something in this reality or in the 5D, I do it on almost a daily basis. So I recommend that. We'll get to that. But meditate and let yourself fantasize about what you want. Now, there are some ground rules to the fantasy. You can't fantasize about something that harms other people or isn't equally as beneficial for others as it is for you. Because remember, when you do what you love, you benefit every being in the multiverse. When you do things that are destructive to you, you don't benefit every other being in the universe. If you do anything that is harmful to another being, because you're manipulating them, you're controlling them, you're punishing them, you're using them, you're kissing their ass. So many people think that by kissing people's asses and trying to fix them that they're good, when in reality they're doing that to be loved and approved of, and so it means that they're actually using people for their own narcissism. And it can be very challenging to learn the difference between truly living a loving life and being a codependent ass kisser, fixer. So you can't do anything that's harmful to anybody else and empower yourself. So in your 5D meditation, you can do anything and everything that brings you joy, especially if it's authentic to you. And it also has to be something that, at the very least, doesn't violate anybody else's boundaries. But you can meditate on anything you want. Meditate on your perfect 5D ultimate fantasy reality. The more time that you do that, the more 5D energy starts to build up inside of you, and you start to create that reality. And also talk. I should have put this down. Make sure that your language isn't destructive. Stop devaluing yourself. Stop complaining. It's okay if you have feelings. It's okay to say something like, I feel like, whatever it is. You can't make any money, I feel this way. That's different. Saying, I feel like the world is a horrible place. I feel like, you can say that. That is different than saying the world is, people are, I am. That's different. When you state something as a fact, the three-dimensional matrix that surrounds you, the five-dimensional matrix, even if you are in 5D, if you complain and you say as a fact something is a horrible this or that, the energy surrounding it goes to create that horrible thing. But if you say I feel as though, then the universe goes, oh, they're just talking about feelings. That's okay. What? He just said the world is created in such a way where he can surf on anti-gravitational surfboards. Okay, let's go make it happen. That's one of the things that these guys told me recently. What you say is what you unconsciously truly want, even if you're complaining about it. So those of you, if you complain about reality in any way, it means that on an unconscious level, you want to manifest that thing you're complaining about. Let's see, the exact quote I was given, I'll never forget it. It was one of the most powerful things anybody ever said. And I was talking to this very powerful Yoda-like being. And after getting, all kinds of energy gifts and things like that, as I always do, I say, is there anything else that you'd like to tell me? Do you have any advice for me? And he walked up to me and he said, what you say is what you mean. And what you mean is what becomes true. So you don't realize that when you complain, you mean it. Because you actually said it out loud. That's how much you meant it. We do this all the time. We devalue ourselves in all kinds of ways when we're out in public. It's cool to complain. It's cool to complain about government. It's cool to, Joe Biden this and whoever this and that. It's cool to do that. It makes you look like you know something, man. And I'm not part of that. I'm awake. We do that to make ourselves look better in front of other people. And you don't really mean that. You say to yourself, I don't really mean that. It's just something I said. I felt awkward and it just came out, but I didn't mean it. I was just kidding. But if you put the effort into speaking it out loud, it means that on an unconscious level, you meant it. And the moment that you spoke it, it now became true in your reality. And so you are creating things in your reality that you don't want, simply because you chose to speak it out loud without thinking twice about it. So the other aspect must be true as well. Let's say you don't believe that everybody in the world loves you. You don't believe that there are light beings out there who love you. If you say the opposite, even though you feel and believe something differently, if you say the opposite, if you say, I am surrounded by beings of light who love me and want to help me be healthy, happy, and prosperous, it becomes true. If you say out loud, I am physically healthy, if you want to lose weight, you can say, I'm losing X amount of weight. These things become real. And that is going to be the case even more when we get to 5D. When we get to 5D, you won't be able to say anything negative without it immediately manifesting. Good news is you won't be able to say anything positive without it immediately manifesting. So get in the habit now. I didn't put it down here, but think about what you want to manifest before you speak, before you make statements about yourself, the world, or other people. Think about it. What else? Energy work and interdimensional meditation every day. That's the 5th one. So that's pretty obvious. I've already told you this is an energetic shift. So your physical body it's not your mind and your intellect. These things aren't physical. Your physical body vibrates at a certain vibration, and you will experience a reality based on the vibration of your body. If your body vibrates at a higher octave, you will live in a higher octave reality. Pretty simple, right? So you need to be doing the energy work to shift your body up. Everything on this channel is based around that. The most powerful of all of them is the Maoshan. Sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. Maoshan.thunderwizard.com is the 5-element spirit fighting. That's the most powerful energy practice I know of. If you do those forms actually, I could go on and on about what they do. But that will shift you, guaranteed. The next most powerful techniques I have are here. The Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. Go to thunderwizard.com, scroll around, and subscribe to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. You will have access to the interdimensional meditation. You'll have access to everything. All the other programs that are underneath that. You'll have access to the mastery of shamanism. You'll have access to everything. And I've made it easier. I've made it so that when you subscribe, as soon as you go to the page, there's going to be a box that says Lightning Qigong. You can click that. You'll see all the videos that are connected to Lightning Qigong. You can click on 90-Day and you'll see all the videos that are associated with the 90-Day Lightning Qigong. So go there and subscribe. If for whatever reason you're just too cheap to pay, or you're 12 years old and you live with your parents and you don't have any money of your own, I still got you covered. Put some time and effort to go and look through the playlists. And the playlists don't have everything, by the way. This channel is, I don't even know how many thousands of videos there are now. But there's no way that you could possibly learn everything that I have taught. It's not possible. And even if you took one of them, one of the free things, the Hool Breath, Awakening the Immortals, just one of those things and did it for the rest of your life every day, if you made your priority to make sure that every day I do this energy practice, your life will change, I guarantee you. and you'll be able to shift up. So there's no confusion. There's no complaints. There's nothing to complain about. I've made it available to everybody. And here's the sad part. There are people who have simply not put the effort in to do the work, and yet they still come on the channel and ask me questions, and they think that thinking their way through this is going to do something. It won't. By the way, I can tell by your comments and your questions whether you're doing the work. I can tell. So it's in your best interest just to do it. Also following my other suggestions, which I'm sure will come up at some point. So those are the 5 techniques. The first one is the which I didn't write down there, which is the assumption, which is the entire universe loves you and surrounds you and protects you and is completely committed to your health and your happiness. Number 1 is to keep your body clean and healthy so that your body will be able to vibrate at higher levels and be able to handle the higher dimensional energy as it comes in. Number 2, make a list of all the things that bring you joy. That will keep you in a state where you will automatically begin to shift your vibration up. Number 3, make a list of all your emotional attachments. Emotional attachments are not things that bring you joy. Emotional attachments are things that bind you to the codependent need to be loved and accepted by society. The things that, and by the way, those are the things that you worry about. If you worry about something, it's an emotional attachment. So you can write it down. Number 4, meditate on your fantasy as if you were a god and you were living your perfect fantasy reality as an immortal divine being, because you are. Number 5, energy work and interdimensional meditation every day. If you don't know what interdimensional meditation is, you can simply go onto the channel. There are free guided interdimensional meditations for you. I have other interdimensional meditations where I give you tips and tricks that I do, which you'll find here at thunderwizard.com. The interdimensional meditation course is part of the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. I recommend that you just pay the extra, literally $1, so that you can be part of the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong, because then you'll have access to everything. And there's, again, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of hours there are of shamanic teachings, rituals, runes, mantras, energy work, how to get the universe to serve you. There's just no shortage of stuff on there, which is why I make it available to you. If you want to see all of my courses, all of my services like astrology, Vedic astrology is very important, rune readings, all of my certifications where you can learn Vedic astrology and or learn how to do my kind of rune readings. I don't do enough of those on the channel. You can go here to courses.thunderwizard.com. All of my books, most important information are in my books. There, I would say 85% of the questions I get, even if they're stuff about stuff I teach, you wouldn't have to ask them because they're already answered in my books. You can go to, you see my name there, Michael William Denny. You just add a .com to the end of that, and you'll see all of my books. The 2 that I recommend right now are Interdimensional Revolution and Extraterrestrials Are Coming to Earth. If I had to pick just one book, it would be this Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life. If you can only afford the $10 or $12 for one book, I would get that one. I roll my eyes because I don't, people complain, I'm thinking of buying one of your books. It's like, seriously, you have to think about buying a $15 or $20 book? Seriously? Anyway, I don't live like that. If I want something, I buy it, whether I have the money or not. What determines whether I buy something is whether I want it. And then the universe gives me the money if I don't have it. It's the way things work. All right, what else? That's it. All right, so let's talk about the Chakra 5D meditation to manifest 5D Earth. So this would be part of number 5, doing some kind of energy work or meditation, interdimensional meditation. This is something I learned, which is that the chakras in your body are associated with the planets and the stars. And actually, the universe out there is a projection of your chakras. You are not this tiny being in this created world with these huge planets. Those huge planets are projections from you. Just like in a movie theater. If you imagine the biggest movie theater you've ever been in, assuming it was a projection from, the back. And no matter how big that screen is, you follow the projection all the way back, and there's just this little tiny lens that's projecting all of that light. That's you. You are this, you think you're this little tiny person, but through your chakras, you project the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, everything in this universe. It's coming out of you. So if you intentionally change the projection, the screen changes, which is three-dimensional reality. So, chakra meditation to manifest 5D Earth. Number 1, lightning qigong, morning or evening practice, which you can find at thunderwizard.com. It's the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. So you can do lightning qigong, the morning or the evening practice. If you don't have that, you can do 20 minutes of the Hool breath or awakening the immortals. So number 1 is just to get your body prepared to do this meditation. So you got to get the engine revving. You got to remember. You probably, things are different now. When I was a kid, we wanted to watch a movie. There was a big projector, and it would always make this really funny noise. So that's turning on the projector. That's when you do the lightning qigong or the 20 minutes of Hool breath or awakening the immortals. Hool breath and awakening the immortals are free. Go find it on the playlist. Second thing is interdimensional meditation, asking higher dimensional light beings to aid your meditation to achieve 5D. If you've never done that, I recommend it. I could go on and on why, but bottom line is the more 5-dimensional energy or higher that you have in your intentions, the more power you have to manifest whatever reality you want. It gets unbelievably crazy how powerful you can get. And CE5 or interdimensional meditation is the way to get that started. And the thing to do is you got to ask for help. So you follow the instructions that I tell you how to do on the guided meditations. And you go out into the universe and you simply ask, are there any beings of light that want to commune with me, that want to teach me, that want to talk with me, that want to help me? I want to create 5D. If you say, I want to create 5D, they are going to go warp 12 to you as fast as they can to help you. So number 2 is interdimensional meditation, asking higher dimensional beings to aid your meditation to achieve 5D. Number 3, you sit in a meditative posture and or lie down and you mentally chant Shivol Hum. I've been corrected by one of our viewers that actually the second word is hum, not hum. It's okay if you make a mistake. I've done it forever and it still works. Shivol Hum. So you mentally chant Shivol Hum. And that means on the inhale, you inhale the word Shivol. And you exhale the word Hum. And this is all internal. So that's your third thing to do. Number 4 is imagine a shaft of light extending out your crown into the entire universe, connecting you to all consciousness. I just got a huge rush of energy as I said that, so apparently that's important. You imagine a shaft of light coming up through your spinal column, out the top of your head, and going into all of the universe and every single conscious being. You connect to this web, which is connecting to them. And that's number 4. Number 5, after a few minutes of doing this breath while connecting to everything, or when you feel an energetic connection to all light beings, whichever comes first, ask your heart center to show you your perfect 5D fantasy world. Ask your heart. Say, my heart, tell me what it is that you want. I'm listening. Number 6, imagine the shaft of light lighting up all 7 of your chakras. Imagine all the different colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, white. Don't overthink it. If you can't imagine colors, don't worry about it. Do your best. Number 7, which says 4. Number 7 is project your chakra lights into space. And imagine these lights creating your perfect reality in front of you. Remember that 3D reality is a projection as you move through it. You don't really move through it, but you feel like you are. As it moves through you, literally. But as time is moving through you backwards, because it comes through you backwards, as time comes through you and you're projecting your intention, time will merge with that projection and create it in front of you. And you will think, magically the world created what I was thinking. No, you created it. Right? So that's the chakra meditation to manifest 5D Earth. Do lightning, qigong, morning or evening practice, or do 20 minutes of full breath and awakening the immortals. Number 2, interdimensional meditation, asking higher dimensional light beings to aid your meditation to achieve 5D. Number 3, sit in or lie in a meditative posture and mentally chant Shivo hum. Shivo on inhale, hum on exhale. Imagine a shaft of light extending out your crown into the entire universe, connecting you to all consciousness. Number 5, after a few minutes and or when you feel an energetic connection to all light beings, ask your heart center to show you your perfect 5D fantasy world. Number 6, imagine the shaft of light lighting up all 7 of your chakras. Imagine the different colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, white. Number 7, project your chakra lights into space and imagine those lights creating your perfect 5D reality. Do this meditation every day at sunset or at night. Those are the most powerful times to do it, but literally you can do it 24/7. I do it sitting on my surfboard. I do it sitting at my desk. I do it whenever I become aware that there's something that I want, I do it. I'm also working on another manifestation meditation my dimensional friends gave me, but I want to practice it a little more before I share it with you. All right, so that's the meditation to manifest 5D Earth. Those are the 5 simple techniques for 5D Ascension. And I'm now happy to take any of your questions if there are any. If you have a question, write the word question in all caps. And then write your question. If you have a feeling, write the word feeling in all caps. Agent of the Universe question. I've been doing the Awakening the Immortals consistently every morning. Good for you. I am extremely proud of you, my friend. What I've just read, I know you wrote more stuff, but what you just did, there is nothing more profound than that. If you have the discipline and commitment and consistency to do anything, you can literally change anything. You can heal yourself of anything. You can change anything. Discipline and consistency is the most important thing, especially when it's something that's not easy to do. So I applaud you. You have my respect and my admiration for being able to accomplish that. Okay, then you go on to say, and while I do feel loopy and I do feel the energy, things haven't gotten worse, but I feel like I've plateaued. And how many times do I have to keep telling you it's not about your feelings? Give me a number. 5 more times? 10 more times? 100 more times? Agent of the Universe, we've been over this. It's not about how you feel. I know something about you, your personal issue with how you interact with life is based on distorted, inaccurate feelings. So the worst thing you can do is make decisions about yourself and your reality and other people based on a temporary feeling. It's meaningless. I'm not saying you shouldn't seek to be happy and enjoy your feelings. Of course you should. I want to feel good all the time as well, but I don't. So what is your question? You didn't ask a question. But the, oh, you said honest feeling, not question. Oh, okay. So it's not a question. All right. That's why. If I'd seen it was just a feeling, I wouldn't have gone off on you. But that was a fortuitous mistake for you. I understand your feeling, but your feeling is not what this is about. It's about your actions, and your actions are what are going to give you what you want. Keep doing that. And by the way, your feeling, the feeling that you've plateaued, that feeling of boredom, that is something that your brain creates in order to keep you from maturing beyond your confines. So that's a good feeling. That feeling of boredom, like I've plateaued and nothing is happening, that means you've actually moved beyond where you were and you're in a state of the unknown. If you are able to tolerate that feeling and you keep taking the actions, things are going to change even more. Watch. Might not happen today or tomorrow, but I guarantee you it will happen. Vincent.thunderwizard.com. Honest feeling. I'm excited and looking forward to staying at an Airbnb for my birthday in July. It's got a huge pool and it's in the mountains, so it's got a nice view and hiking trails nearby. Good for you. That sounds like an awesome way to spend your birthday. Okay, let's see. What else? Nothing else? I don't see any other questions here. Okay, so, it's, anyway, I've given, look, here's the deal, guys. You come onto this channel, this isn't anybody in particular, but one of the comments got me going. You come onto this channel, hopefully because you think there's something you can learn. Maybe you're just bored. Maybe you got nothing better to do. Is your life what you want it to be? If you can honestly say that your life is what you want it to be, then you can brag about taking destructive actions towards yourself. If your life is not what you want it to be, it is an incredible sign of, it just comes off as, what's the word I want to look for? It's not even ignorance. It just comes off as a lack of respect for your own existence when you brag about sabotaging your own life and your own success. That's all I'm going to say about that. What else? That's it. I got nothing else. I don't have any other questions. So this was a lot today. Anyway, thank you guys for showing up. 5D, I do believe, is coming. It goes through waves. My personal experience is that we're kind of in a lull. The solar flash seems to be, we're in between waves, it feels like. But there's a lot of stuff going on. And what I recommend everybody do is to go on to Dr. Stephen Greer's YouTube channel and take a look at, there's a movie that just came out. I recommend that you watch it, and be prepared that coming up this month, I think it's the 21st, but I don't know. Coming up this month, there's going to be a press release thing where there's going to be whistleblowers from the deep state, from Black Ops military, from the regular military, who are going to reveal many of the things having to do with our, what's been really going on, who's really pulling the strings, and a lot of things you've been lied to about. I can't bring it up here on YouTube, but go check that stuff out. And that is, hopefully, I hope that's going to cause a huge explosion of information and awareness over the whole world. That is my hope. So, but I recommend that you check it out as well. All right, let's see. Anything else? Nope, that's it. All right, guys. Thanks for showing up. I wish you all the best. As always, if I've done or said anything that has been hurtful or offensive, know that I love you enough that I'm going to tell you the truth even if you don't want to hear it. And what I want more than anything is your happiness and for you to achieve this 5D shift. And since we're running out of time, I'm prepared to just tell you whatever it is that you need in order to accomplish that goal. Thank you so much for showing up, and I will see you guys all next time. Take care.